Have you ever noticed that you often practice amazingly, you're on fire, but in the game, you freeze, you underperform based on your practice standards? See, you will nail that technique, you will nail that drive, that shot during practice. But when the pressure's on, when it truly matters, it all falls to shambles. Like many things in sports, this isn't about skill. It's about your mindset. And let me explain before you start thinking, oh, it's about skill. I'm just not good enough. For those of you who don't know, I used to play cricket when I was younger. And during practice, when I was batting, my technique was perfect. I was timing the ball amazingly. Like, you couldn't get me out in practice. Like, genuinely. Like, fair enough. Like, maybe not. Like, I'll get out a few times because I was facing a large volume of ball. But generally, in practice, my technique was amazing. My timing was perfect. My form was amazing in practice. When I was bowling, I was in rhythm, pitching the ball exactly where I wanted to, line and length. But when match day came, I couldn't replicate it. It felt like this constant cycle of performing well during practice, building up to the game, being optimistic, and then somehow during the game, I just don't perform. I felt like I was laying down myself, my parents, my teammates, my coach. See, one of my coaches said that the difference between you and the best player in the country at the time was nothing. He said my technique was better. In practice, you're actually better than him. But when it truly mattered, I would somehow mess up in ways that I would never mess up during practice. I'm sure you've seen this in your life as well. Maybe it's yourself, maybe it's your teammates. You've seen that there are these players who have the right skills, the perfect technique, but they somehow manage to mess up during the game. And you're like, why? Like, you genuinely can't understand why they're messing up. They miss that opportunity when it really counts. When it's time to win the game, they miss the shot. And this is all about your mindset. The root problem is you can have the best technique in the world, but if your self-image isn't aligned with success, it's not going to matter. You will never perform when it counts. What your self-image does is it creates a mental barrier to what's possible for you. It governs how you're going to perform week in, week out. So if you have this self-image that I always mess up when it truly matters, I never play well in games, guess what? You're never gonna play well in games, and you're always gonna mess up when it matters. But like most things in this world, it's fixable. So you're now thinking, oh, how do I fix it? The solution to this isn't physical practice, because as you know, you're practicing well during the game. You're perfect form, timing, everything. The solution is mental practice, specifically visualization. We all have this self image. And when it comes to performance, our self image governs what is possible for us. The best example of this is a 4-minute mile. For decades, scientists, performance experts have said that the 4-minute mile was impossible, that humans weren't able to run the 4-minute mile. So all the athletes adopted the beliefs of these so called experts. But there was one person who refused to adopt these beliefs, and he continued to believe it was possible. And eventually, he ran the 4-minute mile. And the crazy thing is, after years of trying, another person ran the 4-minute mile. That same year, the first person broke. And then the next year, 3 more people broke that record. See, the thing is, human beings didn't suddenly become more capable. There wasn't this gene mutation that came, and now people were able to run faster. People saw that it was possible, and it changed their beliefs. They believed that they were able to do it. They updated their self image. Like, they had the self image that if this guy can do it, I can do it. This guy isn't better than me. He doesn't look better than me, so I can do it. And that renewed self image allowed them to break the barrier that people once thought was impossible. Now, you might be wondering, oh, how do I change my self image? Relax. You change it through visualization. See, visualization and mental practice are probably the most slept on thing in this world because it's truly just as effective as physical practice. See, there was this one study where scientists were testing the effect of mental practice on improving your free throws. So they had 3 groups. The first group was a control group, so they did absolutely nothing. They did no practice for, I think the test was like 2 weeks. So they did no practice for 2 weeks. The second group, they did no more practice. They practiced for 20 minutes a day doing free throws, like physical free throws, right? The third group, they practiced 20 minutes a day, but mental practice. See, in their visualizations, they visualize themselves, oh, missing a shot, then recorrecting their technique and realigning and then making the next shot. They visualize the ball going in, the feeling of the ball in their hand leaving, and then hearing that swish sound. They made detailed mental visualizations. And at the end of the study, they found that the group that didn't practice at all saw no improvement. The group that practiced physically saw a 24% improvement. The group that practiced using visualization had a 23% improvement. So essentially, they improved just as much as the group that practiced, but they never picked up a ball. They only used the power of their mind. So that is exactly how you are going to change your self-image, because our self-image is governed by the things that we've been through, the experiences. So that's why if you have this self-image that I always lose, is because you've experienced things where you always lost, and you remember those moments where you lost and attributed them to your self-image. So because the brain can't tell between a real and imagined experience, we are going to imagine ourselves in great detail doing what we want to do in the game. If you visualize your success enough with enough detail, your brain won't be able to tell if that's real or it's imagined. So it's going to become a new experience for you, and it's slowly going to shape your new self image to one that you see like, okay, I can perform during the game. I don't choke up when it really matters. I am that guy. So for you, it's about visualizing success during a game and also coming back from adversity. So it could be scoring that goal, it could be scoring 100 runs, it could be scoring a try, whatever it could be. But you also need to visualize times where it's tough, times where things aren't going right, and visualizing what you want to do in that moment, how you want to react when things don't go your way, so that you can get to a place where things are now going your way again. If you do this consistently every single day, you don't even need to spend an hour doing this. Honestly, you just need 5 minutes a day so that you can experience what it feels like to do well in those moments. And eventually, after a few weeks, your self image is going to start changing. If you want to unlock the next level for your performance, join my whop community. In there, the very first thing you're going to see is a free ebook on how to improve your mental health. It's 19 pages and it's been distilled over books that I've read. See, in the community, you're going to find many other mental resources that will help you get to the next level. So click the first link in the description. The ebook is free. You can join the community for free. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.